Hello everyone, thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my work here today. I'm also grateful to all these beautiful and brave people who let me take their photos and stories for the last 27 years. And because of their photos and stories, I'm here today. For the last 27 years, I have always interested in people who are living on the edge of the society. I have faced criticism for my work almost every day. When I was working with sex worker, people said I had problem with my own character. When I was working with poor, they said I was selling poverty. And when I was working with transgender individuals, they said I had problem with my own gender. But that was never my intention. I always wanted to show the things that need positive change. I wanted to be a voice for those who have no voice. In 1996, thank you. In 1996, I received an old camera from my father. My father had used it for family photos. When I get this camera, I had no idea about photography or photography could be a profession or something to study. But I really wanted to learn this camera. The camera had a manual, but I could not read it because my English was not so good. So I took this manual to a translator to have it translated into Bangla. But the translator asked for a lot of money, which I could not translate it. So I bought an old dictionary from a roadside and I started learning English my own. And that is how I learned both photography and English. And with that camera, I began to see the world in a new way. The camera became my passport to go places I would not have visited otherwise. For many years, I have covered the life of sex worker in different brothels in Bangladesh. Most of these girls were sold by the stepfather, stepmother, boyfriend, husband. Others were given hope, false hope, like come with me, I'll give you a job in a textile factory, only to be sold in brothel. These girls were given overdosation by their madam, which is cow-fattening medicine, very dangerous for health, in order to make them older and attractive to client. And Lisa suddenly became emotional. She was sold in this brothel when she was a little girl, and now she became really emotional that she is getting older and she doesn't have any more client and she has no place to go. I spend months after months with people before I take photos. I usually pick one single topics and I work on it for a long time. I don't just go there and start taking photos. I talk to them, I explain why I want to take their photos, and I build a relationship with them, and then when they trust me, I start taking photos. I work with people who are risking their lives by riding on the roof of the train only to save a small amount of money, and they did it every day. But it was sometimes very dangerous for me, as I did not know when electric wire on a tree might appear in my path. And I had to stand on the moving train for taking photos while the train was going in the opposite direction. It was sometimes really risky, but I really wanted to bring more attention on this issue. And these people are risking their life every day only to save little amount of money because they don't earn enough money to live a decent life. Amina Begum was going to work where she works as a maid, and I was sitting in the same place where she is sitting, but on her opposite side. So it was sometimes risky. I have been working on climate change and its effects for many years now, and you all know Bangladesh is one of the top 10 countries most affected by climate change. And every year Bangladesh faces many natural disasters because of climate change. In Bangladesh, many families have children with physical challenges. These families are already suffering a lot due to poverty, and the pain of their children makes their life even harder. Most of these children, they could not go outside of their house for 10 years, 5 years, because all of them, they need a wheelchair. And they were carrying their children on their laps. And I have been working on this issue for many years now in India, Greece, Nepal, also in Bangladesh. And every year, I'm trying to help these families with wheelchair. So every month, I am providing wheelchair among unprivileged family who cannot buy one. And you can, thank you. And you can see how the people were happy when they came out their room after they got this wheelchair. I have been working with street children in Bangladesh many years now. More than 3.4 million street children living on the street. They were all dirty. they don't take shower for a few days. They don't have sandals. They cut their feet often. And winter, they suffer most. They don't have winter clothes, and they were sleeping on a cold, wet floor. I have been working with deceased children for 15 years now, and whenever possible, I try to help them. So I take them to barber shop to clean them and cut their hair and give them shower in a public washroom. Every week, I take 100 to 200 children to a good restaurant to have a good meal. I provide sandals among hundreds of street children. I provide new dress every few months. I also provide winter jackets every year. I have a Facebook page where I post one story and one photo almost every day. They are amazing stories. Some will break your heart and some will inspire you. And I have more than 1 million followers in my social network like Facebook and Instagram. And I receive mail from all around the world, several mails. And they told me how these stories are changing their life, inspiring them, and making them better human beings. They become more kind to other people, and they also started to appreciate what they have. And they are also trying to help people like me. Child labor has been banned in Bangladesh since 1992. But in 2006, I visited a textile factory where I saw the owner of the factory was hitting a 12-year-old boy named Alamin because he was slow for making t-shirt. I took few photos, and my photos won World Press Photo Award, which is very prestigious, as it brings a lot of international attention on this issue and create awareness. And when I was working on this issue, more than 7.4 million children was working in different factories in Bangladesh, and they were working in a very bad condition. Some of them were risking their life. The situation has been improved a lot, but still millions of children are working in different factories. And the main issue is that parents cannot earn enough money, so they send their children to work. So they also believe by learning these skills, they will have a better job in future. Most of the children, they only get 4,000 taka per month. And they work in a very bad condition, no light, noise, too much noise. You cannot even survive there for 5 minutes. And I saw many children were injured while they were working. He lost his one hand while he was working. And you will see many children with injured parts of the body. So after seeing all of this, I was not happy. I was really sad. And I stopped taking photos for a few months. I work with many international magazines. My photos have been printed in almost every top newspaper and magazine in the world, like National Geographic, Time, Geo, Newsweek. But I was not really happy what I was doing. I could see people are in the same situation 10 years later. And I really wanted to help them. I was desperately looking for an idea for these people how to improve their life. So I came up with an idea that I will give them a small business, and so they could earn enough money and they can send their children to school. So I started finding these people. Many years later, I took their photos and I started giving them business as a gift. So far, I have given 100 business to 100 families. Munna's family was one of those 100 families to whom I gave business. I found Munna again. 5 years later, I took his photos. After several meetings with Munna's families, I started cucumber business for his father. And that time, in Dhaka, we had more than 5,000 restaurants who need cucumber every day. So it was definitely a good business. So Munna's father was successful in few months, and he took out Munna from the factory, and Munna was helping his father, and whatever he was earning, he was supporting his sister education. Last year, I gifted Munna with an auto rickshaw. Now he can earn 1,000 taka per day. I have 15 years long relationship with Munna. So like Munna, I keep in contact with all the people I photograph. Sometimes I call them, or sometimes I visit them whenever it's possible. Like Munna, last 4 years, I'm helping these 30 children who used to work in different factories. Now all of them are going to school, but it was not easy. I had to go door to door to talk to their parents, to talk and motivate them so they would send their children to school. And I took their full responsibility of the education. And you can see the difference. because I believe education can bring a huge change in their life, and I will assist them until they complete their education. And I've been taking care of their everything, like fees, books, food, everything they need. I started a school under a tree 7 years ago with 30 students. Now I have a bigger school, and almost 200 unprivileged students getting education from this school from 8 villages. We have also 10 excellent teachers. Every year, many students, they cannot afford to pay their registration fee, form fill-up fees before the SSC and HSC exam. And many stop their education there because they cannot pay their fees. So every year, I'm supporting many students with registration fee, and then I continue to help them until they complete their education. And Asma was one of them. Asma is now studying in the final year of nursing at Munnu Medical College. And I'm supporting her education since 2016. Asma has no father, and supporting her family, I also gifted them a grocery shop in front of their house. Like Asma, I'm also supporting Toslima's education since 2016, and she is now studying in the final year of nursing at Mymensingh Medical College. Like Asma and Taslima, I'm also taking care of Farjan's education. Farjana, her mother and her sister used to live in her grandmother's balcony, and her greedy uncle evicted them, so they had no place to live. So I built a new house for them, and I took the responsibility of Farjana's education. Ruddo's father was paralyzed, and he could not earn any money because he could not move. So support his family. I also gifted cow with calves so they can sell milk and they can support the family. And I also took Ruddo's responsibility of Ruddo's education since he was in class 9. He just completed his college from prestigious Notre Dame College, and that was a pride moment for me. When I met Mahabub lost his 2 hands and he was begging because his parents were ill. So I gifted them an auto rickshaw so they can earn more money and support their family. Now they can earn 1,000 taka per day. Ibarani, her husband left her with her 2 daughters. They had no means to income. So I gave them cow with calf so they can earn more money, they can sell milk, and every year they have more cow. And last year they sold 2 cows. They were really successful and gathered money, and her house was totally broken. The water was coming from the roof during the monsoon season, and with that her money she built her own house, big house now. So you can see our little change can change someone's life completely, and that was very inspiring. Ivarani was really hardworking, and she made a big change in her life, and that really inspired me to help more people. And I gifted auto rickshaw to Parvin Appa. I gifted auto rickshaw to Nuri Appa, Nurjan Appa. She is the first female rickshaw puller in Dhaka. She learned the rickshaw riding from her father when she was young, and now she thinks that this will be a good business for her because she can earn cash every day. Fatima, she wanted to send her 2 sons to factory to work, and her husband is sick. They were starving, and I gifted them a grocery shop in front of their house. Women education is very important for me. So in villages, in many Bangladeshi remote villages, girls need to work hours after hours to go to their school. And for that reason, many girls, they stop their education there. And every month, last 2 years, I'm gifting bicycle among unprivileged students. So far, I have gifted 100 bicycles to 100 girls. In many villages, people are suffering due to lack of drinking water. They don't have water system, or they have tube well which doesn't work. So I'm gifting water system, deep water pump among the entire community. Many people, they cannot build a decent toilet because they don't have money. So they suffer a lot because of using unhygienic toilets. So every month I'm building new toilet for them. I'm distributing sewing machine among unprivileged people in the villages so they can earn more money and they have better life and they can send their children to school. Education is one of the most important thing for me, and I think education can make a huge difference in their life. So beside giving business, I'm also trying to help people with whatever I can. I also distribute sanitary napkin among unprivileged young girls who cannot afford to buy one. I'm distributing among hundreds of girls for entire year. I take care of these 20 father and mother, childless couples, or they have child but they don't take care of them. So I send every month a decent amount of money to them so they can have a decent life. I publish 2 books, Cyberware and First Light, and I also have photography school, GMB Akash Institute of Photography. I teach photography to Bangladeshi students, and I also have a customized one-to-one photography workshop for students from abroad, and students from 50 different countries came to Bangladesh so far to learn photography from me. I also do photography assignments for magazines, many organizations, and whatever I earn, most of the money I use for helping these people. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I feel really blessed that God gave me this opportunity to serve people. Please keep me in your prayers so I can continue helping people. I just want to share one quote with you that always inspires me. I'm the only one, but still I'm the one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. Because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do. Thank you so much.